The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Jets coaching staff is coming together, and we have some breaking updates this morning to hit on. Nick Faria, Jets beat reporter, will join us. It's the Jake Asman Show on a Football Friday. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby.
I wanted this job. Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride, and I'm ready for it. It's all about the Jets. This is bigger than me. I look forward to this. We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go. Here on a Friday. Welcome in, everybody. Please click the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Reminder, we have brand new merch, AGHC shirts and hoodies. These were designed by a tremendous listener named Dave, so shout out to him for coming through for the Asmaniacs. If you're a Patreon member, 20% off. So if you want to buy one of these, join the Patreon because you're going to save more than the $5 it costs to join the Patreon. That gets you access to our Discord. That gets you bonus shows like the one I posted this week. It gets you, of course, a bunch of other perks and your name in the intro being another one. I want down intro every single month. Joining us right now in his weekly spot on the show is Jets beat reporter for Raffle Sports, Nick Faria. Nick, happy Friday, my man.
Happy Friday, Jake. Great to be back on.
So you and I spoke earlier in the week, right after you were at the Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji introductory press conference. Been a couple days, of course, since. And Aaron Glenn's coaching staff is certainly coming together. Let's start there, Nick. What are your initial thoughts on some of the reports out there involving the coaching staff that Aaron Glenn is hiring?
Pretty damn strong. And I think the one thing we need to keep an eye on, of course, is the offense, because as strong of a hire as Steve Wilks is, it's not going to end up mattering in the grand scheme of things, because the Jets need to finally figure out who's going to run this offense and run the offensive system needed to develop a winning culture, a winning formula on the offensive end. So the offensive side of the ball still hasn't been decided, but for the most part, this has been a really strong start of a coaching staff. Wilks is as strong of a defensive mind as you can get, experienced head coach. All of that works out perfectly fine. So I think he was a really strong choice. Hyman is an interesting one. The fact that he's never held an offensive line position, an offensive line coach position, is a concern to some. But from the people that I have talked to, he points out, and the people that I've talked to, they point out that being a tight end coach fits perfectly with being an offensive line coach, because it allows you to essentially understand the rules necessary in order to run certain blocking schemes, pass blocking, run blocking. So I think Hyman can do a pretty good job overall in that particular role. Talked about Wilks, talked about the defense. This group of coaches needs to have experience for Aaron Glenn. As a young and inexperienced head coach, Glenn is going to need to surround himself with people who understand how to do the top job. He's doing that right now. The early stages, the early returns of this coaching staff are very, very positive.
If you're watching live right now, apparently my audio is a little choppy. I'm reading the chat. People are saying it's smooth now, so let me know. And
I'm on here. It sounds great.
I might have to restart and just hand the show over to you, Nick. I mean, I know you got the chops to do it. We have a bunch of memberships flying off the shelves early. A lot of people are aware we're doing another epic raffle. A signed Joe Namath helmet is our grand prize in honor of Super Bowl week coming up. We had to honor the guy who was the Super Bowl III MVP, plus a signed Joe Klecko helmet, a signed Mark Gastineau helmet, and how about this? A signed Coach Glenn helmet. So if you want in, a signed Coach Glenn photo. I'm working on a helmet. I just spoiled the next prize, damn it. But that will be for another time. Anyway, for everyone out there who wants in on the raffle, you get the membership like Marvelous did before the show with 5, like Stack did with 1, like the great Rick Kent did with 10, and Matthew with 5. I don't want to slow down the show just yet by shouting everyone out, but if you got a membership, make sure you thank the Asmaniacs who paved the way for you. Certainly enjoy all the new emojis we've added this week, including 3 Aaron Glenn Jets 8C emojis to use for all channel members. Now I'm going to play you, Nick, some audio from Aaron Glenn. He was a guest on SiriusXM's NFL radio yesterday, and it was a really good back and forth here talking about some of the coaches that have been reported that Aaron Glenn is essentially confirming have been hired. And then they ask him what he's specifically looking for in the type of coach he wants to hire. And I think Jet fans will enjoy the answer.
You've been thinking about it probably for a while in your life as you became a very successful coordinator and you realized the next step at some point would be to be a head coach. And it's always good to be thinking about that stuff. And it'll happen naturally, which it did for you. But then it's the procedure of hiring a staff. But you've been around a lot of coaches. I'm sure you had your eye on a bunch of guys you thought would be the ones you wanted to come work with you.
Yeah, I have. And I think the good thing about this business is creating relationships and being able to talk to men and women that really love this game, really have a high competitive nature, and really endear themselves to their teammates or their coworkers. So when talking to those men and women, I try to see who actually have those traits within them, and then I start to look at them as the football knowledge. So we've identified a couple of guys. There's been some agreements with a couple of guys. We just haven't really signed on paper just yet, but I feel really, really good about where we're at when it comes to coordinators right now.
So he's feeling good. We know Steve Wilks is the defensive coordinator. I like that, Nick, with the experience and everything he brings. Chris Banjo's an interesting name. Not a ton of experience necessarily, but he comes highly regarded from 2 of the guys you want to sign off on that hire. Sean Payton, and every Jet fan knows, the ultimate special teams guru, Mike Westhoff himself. So I'm on board there. And then it's interesting because there's some reports coming out today that Rams passing game coordinator Nick Caley is out of the running for the Jets offensive coordinator job, which seemingly paves the way for Tanner Engstrand, the passing game coordinator with the Lions, to get that job. So if that is indeed the case, it kind of matches up with Aaron Glenn's comments there that they have some handshake agreements and they're just trying to work out the details of the contract. So it's in the hands of the agents to get it done.
You can see the writing on the wall here. I think Caley, we talked about it before we went on air. I think the big change for him eventually was because the Tampa Bay job opened up, the Houston job opened up, and those are 2 roles, those are 2 spots that are, or at least have better options at the quarterback position. So Caley can be seen as a potential coaching candidate, head coaching candidate moving forward after a year or 2 there. You don't really get that mindset with the Jets because you don't know who the quarterback's going to be yet. So I think that was kind of the writing on the wall there with Caley. But with Engstrand, he's worked with the Detroit Lions. He's had a lot of success in Detroit. It's very similar to Aaron Glenn. And he mentioned it on the show yesterday. Relationships are important. This is a former player, a former scout, a former coach. This is why he's able to bring in so many different people from so many different backgrounds. He didn't work hand in hand with Steve Wilks before. It wasn't like he was, always on his staff and everything worked out. It's that he had built strong relationships around the league where he can entice someone like Wilks to help his defense, like Banjo to help special teams, and like Engstrand to run his offense. And again, the inexperience of Engstrand, there's going to be people who are concerned about that, but I don't see that as a main issue, especially if they, like previous reports said, they bring in a passing game a coordinator, a senior offensive assistant like Todd Haley to help with the game plan and help with the overall process of developing an offensive system. So I just don't see where the concern really is. Engstrand is a really up-and-coming, a strong candidate to run an offense. This is the next step of the process for him in his career. I really look at what the Jets have done in their coaching staff, and I have come away impressed. They have run a very efficient head coach and general manager search. They are now running a very efficient and successful assistant coach search.
It's interesting because you look at some of the names and the thing that I've noticed with these hires, they played in the NFL. Glenn, Hayden, the O-line coach, Banjo, the special teams coordinator. We obviously know Aaron Glenn had an illustrious playing career. And news this morning that Sean Jefferson is being retained as the wide receivers coach. He's another guy that played in the league, and I'd imagine Garrett Wilson's thrilled with that because I heard those two had a very good relationship. So your thoughts on the fact that a lot of these guys are former NFL players on the staff?
It's the way it is in a lot of days in the modern NFL now. Coaches and teams are looking for people who have done the job before, who have experience in the job before. And again, certain things are going to change left and right. No one's officially signed on just yet. They haven't fully made the announcement, so there's going to be more changes. You look at Chris Harris, another former player. He could be the defensive backs coach in the coming weeks as well. But when you have a head coach with prior playing experience, you want to surround him with people he can be comfortable with. I thought Jeff Ulbrich had a very interesting answer, the former Jets interim head coach. He made the point this past weekend where he said there was a lack of trust, and there were some issues when he became the interim head coach where some of his assistants were nervous to go to him about certain things. You're not going to get that with Aaron Glenn. There is a full communication-based program here with the Jets that I think is going to work out a lot better and more efficiently moving forward for the team.
If you have a question for Nick about the Jets, anything with the coaching staff in particular, anything with the press conferences from Glenn or Muji, super chat it, and I will promise you we will make sure it gets read on the show. Shout out to Rasta Dread 305. He has also gifted a membership. This is I'm going to hit this on behalf of the now 21 memberships we've received this show.
Free stuff.
And Nick, what I like to do around here is when we get a bunch of memberships, I like to increase the prizes for the upcoming Asmaniac raffle. So we have 4 right now, right? The signed Glenn photo, signed Gastineau helmet, signed Klecko helmet, and our best prize, I think, ever, signed Joe Willie helmet with the display case that comes with it and a certificate of authentication. But I was showing you off air what I have cooking up now for maybe the best prize we've ever done. Ladies and gentlemen, you will win Asmaniac underwear, baby. Prize number 5, Jake Asman Show underwear, and Nick Faria has already volunteered to wear it live on the show. Nick, thank you so much for doing that.
Absolutely terrific. Absolutely terrific.
These are real, by the way. If you go to my website, jakeasman.com, you'll see it. I made it as cheap as I could where it wouldn't, be costing me money to actually produce these. So what you see is what you get. Thanks to Nick for being our male model that you see on the screen. Such a good guy. All right. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. I see Kyle just hit on the Sean Jefferson. We hit on that just before, Kyle. Elude writes in, Jake, this whole situation feels different. It doesn't feel like the same old Jets. And I get it. Fans want to be optimistic. I felt very good about Saleh and Douglas, though, in 2022. So I'm trying to be patient and remember that I felt good about those guys, and it ultimately didn't work out. But I will say this, as someone who wasn't, on board with a first-time coach, it wasn't really anti-Glenn. It was just first-timers. Aaron Glenn, I thought, absolutely crushed it the other day with you guys. I thought he really set the tone for what he's trying to do as the Jet coach.
100%. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he didn't crush it. It was very clearly he had a strong plan. He understood the history of the franchise, which is something that few inexperienced coaches deal with. You got the sense that with Robert Saleh, because he was from San Francisco, because he had bounced around elsewhere, he didn't fully comprehend the pressures that were coming with the Jets. And I think that's part of the reason why you never got San Francisco Robert Saleh. With Aaron Glenn, he's been a part of this organization. He's seen the organization at its lowest and at its best. So I think that certainly plays a role in that. But as always, while everyone is very excited about it, I think I was one of the few people that said, let's pump the brakes here after his introductory press conference. And it's not to say that he didn't kill it or that he's not going to make a good head coach. By all returns, it looks like there's a strong plan in place to help the Jets improve. But we have seen head coaches have great introductory press conferences that have blown up in their faces, that last a year or 2 years, anything like that. There was a lack of continuity. There were other issues. You've also seen head coaches who have been awful in their introductory press conferences that have been extremely successful in their NFL career. So you always want to take introductory press conferences with a grain of salt. You want to see the actions. What are they doing after these introductory press conferences to help the team move forward and try to end this playoff drought? And based on that metric overall, the staff that Aaron Glenn is assembling, you have to look at it and say, hey, he's doing the right thing. He's bringing in experienced guys. He's bringing in guys who are highly qualified elsewhere. There's reason to be hopeful.
Hope is the thing that kills you as a Jet fan, and we usually do get it in the offseason. So we shall see if it actually translates to the regular season. We're going to get into Aaron Rodgers here in a moment, but holy crap, look who's in town with 20 memberships, the great Peter Castro.
Free stuff.
Yeah, Peter.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive one ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Normally, I make it rain when we get 20 channel memberships. We hit the raindrop. I pull out the Gustbuster, but I'm going to do something different to honor this 20 membership drop. You ready for this? I'm going to go full Aaron Glenn. I'm putting my seatbelt on because I'm built for this. Here we go.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Let's go, baby. I got
He's
my
going
helmet
in.
for these moments.
He's going in.
Yeah. I can't hear you now, Nick, but I got 20 names to read. Ladies and gentlemen, it's raining, but guess what? My helmet is keeping me dry. 20 memberships to read from Peter Castro, Kagrin, Rebecca Ellen, John Gilgert, Ryan DeZera, DKL, Watchman, Ted Bundy, Seconds 84, Kevin Maldonado, Known, Matthew Granger, Elmo Jet Fan, The 42nd EG0, Smitty PA, Tyler Molden, F and Jets for Life, Easton Trinini, Sack Dance 99, Eli D, all coming through for the people. By the way, when we did a raffle a couple weeks ago for a full-size helmet, that's what this is right here. Full size, baby. Now, I can't hear Nick. Maybe I can hear him if I go like this. I don't know. Nick, hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
All right. I got you. I think I can pull this off.
I guess my only question that I would have is what position are you going in for? Who are you replacing?
Well, there's not too many 5'8" guys in the NFL, so you tell me where you think I'd line up best.
Kicker? Maybe.
Okay. I can do that. All right. I'm also really struggling to hear you here, so I'm going to take this off. But thanks to Peter Castro. If anyone else gives 20, I'll put the helmet back on. Ugh. God. Probably should have taken the hat off first. That would have been the
Probably should have.
All right. Comments, questions, super chats for Nick. And we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers right now. Nick, your thoughts as we sit here now, a week or so from the Super Bowl. Aaron has been on the record saying that he doesn't really consider the football season over till after the Super Bowl. We know that Aaron Glenn told Jay Glazer that he's going to meet with Aaron and come to a decision quickly. He doesn't want it to drag on. Your thoughts on a timeline for the Aaron Rodgers decision, and ultimately, after hearing from Glenn and Muji and Woody on Tuesday, your thoughts on how it ultimately plays out with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets?
Yeah, so I'll start with the overall timeline. I'd be surprised if we don't have an answer on what the Jets are going to do with Aaron Rodgers, at least before the Combine. I think before that starts, I think we'll have a firm understanding of if the Jets are going to find and go for another bridge quarterback, or if they're going to try to trade up, or if they're going to try to draft a quarterback in the later rounds, something or other. We're going to know that plan at least before the Combine. But I remain steadfast in the belief that the best chance the Jets have of being successful in 2025 is having Aaron Rodgers as your starting quarterback. And I think Aaron Glenn, they're not going to say anything like that. You know, they're not going to say, oh, we want this, we want that. They acknowledged on Monday that Aaron's a great player, and he's historically been a great player. So you want to do right by him. You want to do right by the actual person and move forward from there. But I look at Aaron Glenn, kind of look how I looked at Sean McDermott's first year when he was head coach of the Buffalo Bills. That first year, they had Tyrod Taylor. They made the playoffs, and it was such a transformative year for Buffalo that they were able to essentially build some cash with this new coaching staff and front office. They traded up for a quarterback, and they got that quarterback. They struggled a little bit at the beginning. They went 6-10 that first year, but it was that development, knowing that the coaching staff has the right plan. They just need to develop the quarterback. And then it worked out for them in droves over the last 5 years. So if I'm the Jets, I'm looking to do something very, very similar. I want to have Rodgers for the 2025 season. You play them out. You try to end this playoff drought. If you do, you build some cash. You build some trust with the fan base, with the ownership group. You just build trust overall throughout the organization. Then you can look and say, okay, well, now we want our quarterback. We want our future quarterback, whether that means trading up in the draft, whether that means standing pat because the 2026 quarterback class should be a lot better than this current one. Whatever it is, you put yourself in that position to do so. And then you're able to develop your team on the timeline of having your young quarterback. I think that's the best way to go. You follow that Bills model to success.
Yeah, because to me, even if Aaron's only here for 1 year, but you do exactly what Buffalo did, right? They ended a 17-year drought.
Yep.
Jets end their drought. You felt confident in the regime going forward. Like they were given the opportunity to get their quarterback and go 6-10 in Josh Allen's first year because they made the playoffs the previous year. So it's like, okay, we're taking a step back to go forward long term. And look, I think every Jet fan would obviously sign for a playoff season in 2025, getting your franchise quarterback the following year, regardless what your record is, and then building going forward. That's where this, I think, could be headed if they want to follow that blueprint, because realistically, I don't love the quarterbacks in this draft class like you. I wouldn't take Jackson Dart at 7. I think it's nuts that some Jet fans are even entertaining that right now. Classic overhyping guys.
The Senior Bowl has been awful. I've seen it and I've watched the tape. When you saw quarterbacks last year, and the Senior Bowl is always difficult to determine which players are really good and which ones aren't. But if you had a quarterback that you were going to fall in love with, he needed to be out of this world impressive over this week. Kind of like Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell last year in the Senior Bowl dominated the entire week, was fantastic the whole week, and he shot up draft boards because of it. You're not seeing that with the quarterbacks here. You're not seeing anything close to that. So if you're drafting a quarterback, you're drafting him in the later rounds. And to me, if you wanted to have a young quarterback to develop and compete overall, see what you got, I'd rather the team just take the flyer on Jordan Travis for this season, see what you have as the ultimate backup, see if he can develop into something new with this new coaching staff, and go from there. I wouldn't want to take the flyer on Kyle McCord when I have Jordan Travis on the roster anyway.
Is he healthy, though? That's the only question with Travis. I guess we'll find out.
Of course. But at the same point, you have to hope and expect that a full year not playing football, he's been able to return at least close to where he was in college.
Last day to join the Patreon if you want your name added to the intro for the month of February. Huge shout out to everyone who has signed up for the Patreon, including Thomas Rossi, who's our most recent member, Ed Carco, Derek Shirley, Matthew C., Chris L., Mad Team Parents, Team from Fishland, and Gangrene Goliath. If you plan on buying any merch, join the Patreon first so you can get 20% off, and your first month of Patreon is free, just like that. All right, a lot of topics still to hit on with Nick. If you have a question for him, write it in. That is what JD Surf City did, and he says, Nick, can you explain the cap? When they post-June 1st cut of Rodgers spread the $49 million hit over this year and next?
Correct. But again, I will sit here and say I think people are worried too much about the salary cap. I really, really do. Because there are ways to spread out Rodgers cap hits where you're not paying $60 million this year or next year or the year after that. You can manage caps in a way where you're paying a lot of dead money, but you're still producing wins and still keeping talent overall throughout the entire year. Look at Philadelphia. Philadelphia has one of the highest dead cap charges of any team in the NFL. They gave away Carson Wentz, carried that $35-40 million dead cap back in 2021, and still made the playoffs that year. Like, I think people need to take a step back and recognize with the salary cap increasing every single year, the concern of dead cap, the concern of paying people that aren't on your roster, it's not going to be what it was 5 years ago. It's going to change fundamentally. I just don't think it should be as big of a concern as everyone's making it out to be.
I agree with you, too, because the Jets, we all thought, had one of the more talented rosters they've had in years, and they carried like $50 million in dead cap. Like, dead cap is not what it was because the cap keeps going up, not a little bit, but it goes up exponentially, seemingly, every year.
TV contracts are absurd.
Yeah.
They're absurd. So, like, you're going to be paying quarterbacks $50-60 million. This next quarterback, whoever you're going to get, if you're going to draft, he's going to eventually make $60 million. I think you need to understand that it's not that big of a deal anymore. The teams are paying dead money for players who aren't on their roster, players who retired all the time. This is not some brand new thing. And if you're paying a little bit more for Rodgers, that's okay, because you're still going to have plenty of cap space to re-sign Garrett Wilson and re-sign Sauce Gardner and make a decision on Breece Hall, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, the thing is, too, when it comes down to like the Jets' future quarterback situation, in all likelihood, you have a rookie playing on a rookie deal. If not this year at some point, then next year if they go quarterback in round 1. So even if you're dealing with whatever the dead cap ramifications would be from moving on from Aaron Rodgers, you're what Denver did. They dealt with 80-something million, which is not what Rodgers would be, even if the Jets don't do anything to his contract. And they made the playoffs because, 1, they found their coach, and 2, Bo Nix is on a rookie deal. So it's not like their salary cap was that impacted at all by a quarterback on a rookie contract.
It's a great example, Jake, that you mentioned Denver. It's just with the salary cap going up, with teams moving around so many different players time and again, dead cap charges for teams are so much higher now than they were 5 years ago. And the reason for is because they all have salary cap managers that say, let's just punt off some, few extra million in 2025, a few extra million in 2026, and then push off continuously. You can be successful when you're paying a lot of dead cap. And to assume that the Jets are going to be in cap hell because they want to keep Rodgers for 2025, it's not accurate, and it's not reality when you move forward with it, because this team can still be really good.
We have some breaking Jets news. According to The Athletic, the Jets are expected to hire Chris Harris for a role on Aaron Glenn's defensive staff. Chris Harris has been with the Titans the last couple of years. According to Rosenblatt, he's considered a defensive coach that is on the rise. He interviewed for the DC job, and I think that was partly, hey, get him in the building, talk to Glenn. And 2, you got to fulfill the Rooney Rule requirements for minority candidates for coordinators now. So I felt like they always were going to hire Wilkes, who is obviously a minority candidate. So that's 1. You interview Harris. Hey, he's not the DC, but that fulfills that. And now you can now hire him for a different role on the staff, which it sounds like they're going to do.
Yeah, and I would probably expect it to be in their defensive back position. Maybe helps out with the corners, safeties, whatever it ends up being. But again, this is a strong hire, and we can make the point that every single hire the Jets have made to this point has been based off of a relationship, a pre-created relationship, or also based on just reality. Chris Harris, really good defensive coach, up-and-comer. Steve Wilkes, really good defensive coach. What he did in San Francisco, what he did in Carolina in the interim basis, really impressive. Tanner Engstrand, we expect him to be the offensive coordinator. He's had a very strong history in Detroit. So Aaron Glenn is building a very impressive staff. It's just a matter of making sure that all of these guys put together can build this cohesive roster and put them in the right position to succeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're tuning in. We're talking with Jets reporter Nick Faria, covers the Jets for Athlon Sports. If you're one of the 561 people in here right now, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel immediately. We've had a massive month of January. Can't thank the Asmaniacs enough for that. We're just 13 away from 41,200. So let's hit that mark during the show. That red subscribe button right over there underneath Nick, that's where you got to go to click and support the channel that way. If you want a raffle entry, get the membership, and make sure you check out all the new AGHC emojis that we've been adding over the last few days. Shout out to Bo. How about this? He's gifted 5 channel memberships. Thank you, Bo. That's 5 more entries for him. Fiore with a super chat of $10. Thank you, Fiore. Always appreciate your support. He writes in, assuming Engstrand wants to run a Detroit-style offense, why do people assume 8 wouldn't be a good fit? Is the talk about him not a culture fit based on fact? Is he a guy who is a locker room concern?
No, he's not a locker room concern, and I think he would work pretty well with Engstrand because of the fact that he saw what the traditional West Coast system can do with a modern flair with LaFleur. LaFleur comes into Green Bay. He brings in his sort of stretch offensive system, marries it to the West Coast, and Aaron Rodgers is a back-to-back MVP. So I look at where the Jets are, and I look at where, Engstrand would want to run his I would say in terms of this comment, this quote, Detroit-style offense. I think Rodgers can be very successful. I think he would be successful, and I don't think he'd be much of a problem with it either.
I agree. And once again, I don't think Rodgers is a bad fit at all. I think it's actually the opposite. I could see him and Aaron Glenn really hitting it off. I think the only question is, does Rodgers want to learn a new offense, right? I think he could be on board with everything Glenn's preaching, but if he doesn't feel like putting in the work to learn a new system, then maybe he just retires. People act like Rodgers has all these other options, if not the Jets. I'm not so sure. I really feel like it could be Jets or retirement at this stage of his career.
Tennessee's probably someone that I look at and say maybe they go that route. If they want to draft Travis Hunter with the first overall pick and everything. Tennessee's probably an outlier. You look at some other teams, they may just want to just punt their quarterback concerns to 2026. There's going to be questions that Aaron Rodgers has to answer. There's going to be some concessions that he's going to have to make, understanding that this is Aaron Glenn's team now. But like you said, I think Aaron Glenn, being a former player, his ability to connect with players as a coach is something that is very underrated in terms of his overall career. I think he and Aaron Rodgers could be a great fit together. It's just a matter of what Aaron wants to do. If he wants to play in a strictly traditional West Coast offense, then the pickings are going to be very slim for teams around the National Football League. So I do think the Jets and him pose the best match. It's kind of like Pete Alonso and the New York Mets. Pete can go anywhere, and there are going to be teams that would want a first baseman with power. But in terms of the best fit, it's still with his team in New York. And I think that's the same with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I don't see where they're getting a better option at quarterback.
There isn't. Objectively, there isn't. Like, we can talk about Justin Fields, and people want to have Justin Fields on the roster, but Justin Fields is an extremely deficient quarterback. A quarterback. He's a great runner, but he's a very deficient quarterback from the pocket. You look and say, okay, well, do you want Daniel Jones? Do you want Sam Darnold? There's no quarterback in this draft after Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders that I'm comfortable taking with the 7th overall pick or in the 2nd round either. And I would rather, if I'm looking to have a mid-round quarterback, see what they have, I'd rather just take the flyer on Jordan Travis this year, see what he has if he's fully healthy, than drafting another guy and letting them duke it out.
Because once again, if Rodgers comes back, I believe that means you have Davante Adams back. So if you move on from Rodgers, I don't think Davante would be here, Nick. And then what's your wide receiver room right now?
You're going to have to draft another receiver.
Yeah, that's it.
You're going to have to draft a receiver. It becomes a significant need for the team in the draft process, in the free agent process, and then you're probably going to have to take away some resources. The Jets have major needs along the defensive line. I'm someone that says right now, gun to my head, if the Jets are making the pick with the 7th overall selection, they're taking an edge rusher or they're taking a defensive tackle. They're not going receiver. They're not going to go tight end. And I don't think they would go offensive line either. I think they would need some form of edge rusher, interior defensive lineman to be and sort of develop this overall unit that just was gashed last offseason. If you get rid of Davante Adams, if Davante Adams moves off, then receiver becomes part of that equation, and you're now losing resources for a position of dire need right now.
Rich says, so sick of losing. I just want to win. I agree. That should be the goal. Win football games. All this tanking stuff. I mean, this team hasn't won more than 7 games in a season in a decade. Think about how pathetic that is.
It's, again, there's a lot of factors that play into it. And I think a big part of that is coaching. Just Robert Saleh, the staff just wasn't good enough. The roster was clearly talented enough. They lost 6 games by 1 score. When you lose 6 games by 1 score, that means you're in these games, and that means coaching is a huge hindrance. I think that number can turn around with Aaron Glenn in there, but you got to make sure that you got the players needed in order for that to happen. You've got your offensive line. The offensive line's pretty much situated. You've got your top receiver. You've got your top corner. You've got your slot guy. You've got some linebackers. You've got players all around the roster. Now you got to fill it out with positions of high value of need. Edge rusher, defensive tackle. Find someone who can play with Quinnen Williams consistently instead of throwing $3 to $5 million on these 1-year rental projects.
Matthew with a super chat. He cuts the line. Thank you, Matthew. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Dennis Gorman for raising Charles, a fine young man who farts with the power of 1,000 Hurricane Andrews. Thank you. Hashtag Gorman 2028. I'll tell you what, Nick. We have a lot of great Asmaniacs that are going to be competing in Asmaniac Madness in a few short months. Charles Gorman has a legit chance to cut down the net.
Good luck. Good luck.
I can't wait to see your bracket that you'll be filling out. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna have. It's gonna be some difficult conversations because it's you're gonna have to sit there. We're gonna have to stem through it the whole shebang.
Oh, you know it. Sonny with a super chat. Bring in Byron Leftwich for OC. What are your thoughts?
So Leftwich had a lot of success in Tampa, but do I think that he's a legitimate choice? No. I think the failings with Tom Brady that final season, and there were a lot of failings. That offense, with all the talent in the world, looked really, really bad for pretty much the entire season. I think that's going to turn off a lot of people moving forward.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. I see Elu goes, Jake, I want to support you and send a super chat. However, how do I set up a payment to the channel? So there's no way to set up a payment to the channel. You just could pay whatever YouTube allows you to for whatever super chat you want. That's very nice of you, Elud, or Elud. Hopefully one of those pronunciations was correct. To send a super chat, if you're watching on your desktop, go over to the live chat at the bottom. You'll see there's like a money icon. You click that. That's also how you can gift the membership as well. So either one. And then if you're on the phone, same thing. It's on like the right. You're looking for that little money icon on your screen. And that's how YouTube allows you to do it. For those who want in on the raffle who can't watch the show live, by the way, you could send a super chat in the comments, I believe, from your phone. So if you're watching on your phone or iPad and it's not live right now to everyone watching after the fact, go down into the comments and say whatever you want to say. And if it's a $20 super chat, that's 5 raffle entries, 50 is 10, 100 is 20, so on and so forth. Want to make sure we get the most amount of people ever in for our Joe Namath signed helmet raffle. And prize number 5, if you missed it, Asmaniac underwear, baby. Thank you again to Nick for being the model here on the screen. Someone's going to win some Asmaniac undies. Nothing like it. Comments, questions for Nick Faria. Joe writes in, can someone explain why Detroit's getting comp picks for losing Aaron Glenn and the Jets are not getting picks for a minority hire? Jets have been in the forefront for minority hires and get nothing.
Correct. So this is a very good question. The NFL and the recent CBA, it's not about hiring the minority candidates. It's about developing the minority candidates in the first place. So assistant GMs that become actual GMs, you get compensatory picks. If you have a defensive coordinator that goes off and becomes a head coach like Detroit, then you get compensatory picks. San Francisco, when they lost DeMeco Ryans, they also lost another coordinator as well, and I'm blanking on the name. But they got compensatory picks because they were given promotions for higher positions. So it's not about the teams that hire those people, which I think may be something that could change and alter with the Rooney Rule, where you could get a compensatory pick if you hire a minority candidate. Maybe that ends up happening. I have no idea. But that's the reason right now. It's about developing that talent first, more than hiring them in the first place.
100%. And I mean, the Jets have had a tremendous amount of minority coaches. So
they do a good job of it.
Yeah, I mean, you could get on Woody Johnson for not winning, but anyone trying to say that he doesn't hire minority coaches, I mean, I don't think anyone.
They don't run sham Rooney Rule interviews like the Patriots did this past year, which is still an absolute embarrassment. They wanted Mike Vrabel. Everyone knew it. And so they bring in these 2 guys that haven't been coaching for a year. I mean, it's just embarrassing the way New England ran their system.
Let's see. Rich updates us that there's 600 watching and only 172 likes. He says, hit it. Amen. Rich, amen. Gator sent me this. It's some more on Tanner Engstrand, who's all likelihood going to be the Jets' next offensive coordinator here. Nick, looking at his bio here, he looks like a young guy, but this guy's been coaching for a very, very long time. So it kind of maybe the best of both worlds for a guy who's never done it at the NFL level, been around it, called plays in college. Harbaugh's hired him twice in 2 separate stints, and obviously he was good enough to survive the end of Matt Patricia and stay on for Campbell and Ben Johnson on that side of the ball.
He may not call plays. He may not have a ton of experience in calling plays, but he knows how to do it. And I think that's going to be a key for him. And this is, in my opinion, and I've said this before, this is the most important hire of Aaron Glenn's tenure. He has to get the offensive coordinator right. Robert Saleh didn't get the offensive coordinator position right, and it blew up in his face in 3.5 years. If Tanner Engstrand works out, the Jets are going to be very, very good for the foreseeable future because they're going to have an offensive system that works for them. If this doesn't work out, then Aaron Glenn is going to be put at a disadvantage. This is the most important hire of this entire process.
100%. And I'm curious to see who the quarterback coach is as well, because if not this year, as we've said, next year, that guy's probably going to be working up close a lot with a rookie quarterback.
Correct. And potentially will become the offensive coordinator if Tanner Engstrand does a good job this year, he very well could get interviews for head coaching positions.
Remember the old, they can't hire Mike LaFleur because we're going to lose him. He's going to do too good of a job. It's like, that's a good problem to have. People worry about that then.
But this is why I say, and this is why we got in this debate before, Jake, this is why I pushed for offensive-minded head coaches in the first place, because you don't have to worry about this ever again.
Hey, it's true, but even if you have an offensive-minded head coach like your team in Philadelphia, you still could lose your offensive coordinator twice.
Because Nick Sirianni was not a good play caller. He gave up play calling and ended up working out. But the expectation that Philadelphia had was that he was going to be the one calling plays, and it turned out the best thing that they ever did was tell Nick, hey, you know what? You're a CEO head coach. You're really good at being a CEO head coach. Stop calling plays on offense.
But you see, it can work, though. That's what I'm saying.
It can, but I would always prefer to have the guy be the play caller as well.
100%. You prefer it, but I don't think you hire a lesser candidate just because their specialty is on offense. So I think we agree there. Bo with a super chat for us. Any new? And by the way, Bo, I'm glad that you got your items, the Breece Hall card, right? I threw in some extra stuff for you, so I hope you enjoyed that. Any new coach is a risk, no matter how much experience they bring with them, but nobody can tell me that you don't feel positive about the direction. Yeah, look, Aaron Glenn's a Jet. I want it to work. He is someone that every Jet fan, even if he wasn't your first choice or whatever, you should be rooting for him. You're a Jet fan.
Why would anyone not root for him? I mean, former player, former scout, he's done it the right way. It's taken a long time for him to get to this point, but it's not like he sits there and is talking trash. It's not like he went out there in his introductory press conference and said, I'm not here to kiss Bill Belichick's rings or anything like that. He came in with a plan, and he said, we're going to win, and we're going to build a sustained winner. It's not just about winning the first season. It's about winning multiple years into the future. So I look at it as, I don't look at this anything other than this is a very successful start for the Jets in the Aaron Glenn era. We don't know how well it's going to go moving forward, but a very successful start.
100%. And ultimately, you got to win, right? I mean, all the talk is nice. As you said, you got to win games, man. But I won't lie to you, Nick. Every time I play this, I get pumped.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hell yeah.
I always get a little antsy when I get stuff like that because, of course, it's a great answer. It's a great answer. Joe Judge had a very similar answer when he was introduced as head coach of the Giants, where he was talking about being a no-nonsense guy. And Giants fans that first year, they went 6-10, 6-11, whatever it was, and they were so angry that they didn't win the division by default, that Philadelphia tanked, that they had bought into Joe Judge completely, and it blew up in your face. I always get antsy with that. Just because an answer is great doesn't mean that he's going to end up being the right guy.
100%. You never know with any first-timer. And
you never know.
It's just, you got to hope it plays
You
itself.
never know with the veterans either. Let's be honest. Pete Carroll's 73 years old. Are we sure he's going to walk in and change life forever in Las Vegas? I don't know about that. It's going to be there's questions even when you get veteran guys as well, in fairness.
To everyone out there who's not watching live, thank you to Gator for the assist here, the visual assist. For those asking how they could get in the raffle or still donate, there's a thanks button with a heart and money icon for donating to the show. So for those of you who want in the raffle who can't watch the show live for whatever reason, hit the thanks button. Once again, $20 super chat gets you 5 raffle entries, 50 gets you 10, and it's just another way to support the channel. Appreciate everyone out there who tunes in each and every day. Holy crap, right on time. Jets carpetbagger, $100. He wants the Joe Willie Namath helmet, baby. Yeah.
Free stuff.
Maybe, Jet carpetbagger, maybe. But I'll tell you what, that right there is just going to get you 20 raffle entries.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
The epic prizes again, Joe Willie helmet with the display case included, by the way. I wanted to go all out for this one. Joe Klecko helmet signed, Mark Gastineau helmet signed, Aaron Glenn photo signed, Nick Faria modeled as Maniac underwear. Not signed, although maybe Nick will sign it for you if you bring it up to him at training camp this summer.
Yeah, no thanks.
What if I got Charles Gorman to sign as Maniac underwear? Would people be interested in that? It might have some skid marks on it if Gorman actually put it on. You know, that player-worn jerseys? But could you imagine a Charles Gorman worn underwear?
Oh my God.
I mean, just imagine.
I think the second one, excuse me,
Could be epic. Just throwing out some ideas here. Just throwing out some ideas. Let's see. Doug says we almost beat the Bills with horrible coaching. They should have won that game that night, man. That's why it's like there's talent on this team, and at times when it was clicking, the few and far opportunities, you saw it. They were so poorly coached. I mean, people think I'm kidding when I say this. I'm not. If you gave Adam Gase this team, he would have won way more games than the 3 Jeff Ulbrich won.
Oh man, yeah, I think you can make the argument they probably make the playoffs with this roster. I mean, they won 7 games that first year. If Gase is on the team, I think he does a better job in managing the team and managing the offense overall. I think you make an argument 5 wins, maybe they get to 9, maybe they get to 8. Hard to tell because there were so many things wrong, but he was by far much better than anything Jeff Ulbrich did.
I mean, it was that bad, man. And like the kicking game also cost him several games too. The defensive collapses. It's just brutal.
Even the Jaguars win. So like they're going into score, and instead of holding on to the ball and just kicking the game-winning field goal, we're talking about them scoring the touchdown and giving Jacksonville plenty of time to go down the field and win on their own. There's just so many instances this past year where just complete mental breakdowns from the coaching staff and how to handle in-game management. And listen, in fairness to them, there are a lot of teams in the NFL that have really struggled with in-game management, with time management, all these concerns. But with the Jets, it was so pronounced because they kept losing one-score games, and a lot of it was because the coaching staff didn't know what to do in key situations.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships, too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
Peter Castro in for 10 with a $50 as Maniac Super Chat. Shout out to you, Peter. Peter's on board.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Holy hell, we better be. We better be, AG. We better be. Bill wants to know, are those silk, referring to the underwear? Nick, you put it on for us. Was it silk?
That silk. It was very comfortable. As you can see, the abs up in the front. Just a picture-perfect body frame. I think that's probably my best modeling job yet.
Nick, I got to give you a chance to respond to this comment here because you could take it one of 2 ways. It depends how you feel. FPP says you're the beast breaker of guests that I have on this channel. Every time I run a poll on Beast Breaker, it's usually around 50-50 pro or against. So I think you're in a pretty good spot because love you or hate you, people are watching you. And that's ultimately what you're trying to do here.
It's the best way to do it. But the other thing is this, and again, I mentioned this before. I'm not a Jets fan. I'm doing this to pay the bills because it's my job and because I love doing it. I love covering the Jets. They're a great team to cover. They give plenty of stories. And the Jets community has been fantastic. You guys have been awesome. Jake has been awesome. The guys at JetCast have been great. Scott with Play Like a Jet. Everyone's been so welcoming. So I want to give back, and I want to give my perspective and what I've seen throughout NFL, my NFL watching experience as a fan and as a reporter. So yeah, sometimes, there will be things where I connect the team that I root for and the way they run things. And I want the Jets to run it this way because that's been successful and people don't like it. But the other thing is this, I don't get offended. I will never, ever get offended. So I appreciate any and all comparisons.
Nick's latest article, I just put it in the live chat again. So go support him. Just give him a click, man. The man needs some clicks. He needs the Jet fans.
Love the clicks.
At Athlon Sports. Yo Home says 85% brutal takes you have. Now, I would say that means 15% of the time you're spot on them.
I'm spot on. And you know what? Compared to most NFL analysts, that's a great freaking percentage, man. I'll take that to the cows come home.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeti goes, did Jeffrey R ever win anything? Dude dropped like 200 one episode. Yeah. Jeffrey's won a couple raffles. He's won a bunch of signed stuff. I think he won a full-size helmet. I know he's won Super Bowl 3 rings. He won several signed mini helmets, I believe. So yes, Jeffrey he's done very well in the 13 previous raffles. All right, let's mix in a couple calls here with Nick before we say goodbye. Once again, Jets reporter Nick Faria joining us here in his weekly Friday spot this offseason. on the Gusbuster hotline right now is someone who is wide awake, locked in, and ready to talk New York Jets.
It's time for another V-Man call. Hopefully he no sleeping. Adios mio.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, V-Man. You called us, so why don't you let us know?
And I like the honestly. I talk about this staff. I like the way it's shaping up. I like we got a lot of former players on here. I like that. Sorry.
I don't understand this call here, V-Man. You call in, you're waiting on hold. We go to you to make a point, and then you say, I'm sorry, and then you just start drinking your coquito-laced coffee.
It's regular coffee. It's not, but no, I'm just it's like,
Go grab that Puerto Rican flag.
No, I'm not gonna
go put it on. Go put it on as a cape right now. That's gonna be more entertaining than whatever Jet take you have.
We can talk football. We can talk football. No,
I don't think we can actually.
Yeah, we can.
The way I look at it is we have one of two options here. One, you go and grab the Puerto Rican flag and put it on as a cape. Or two, we say goodbye and we go to someone else.
Right. Why?
Because the bottom line is we gave you a chance to make your point and you already forgot it. So this is wildly more entertaining.
Like I said, I already gave you. Like, I like the way this staff is going. I like the experience on this staff. I like the former player. I like the background of the coaches on this staff. You know, I agree with a lot of the takes.
V-Man, from this show on, your new name down below is Captain Puerto Rico, okay?
That's a great nickname.
Oh, God. This is, like, honest. Like, this is just... I just had it out there because I just was doing... This is just going on back.
Genergy's in the house. She's a fellow Puerto Rican, V-Man.
Yeah, I know.
All right, now what I need you to do is get up and fly around the room a little bit, all right?
You got to show the Captain Puerto Rico.
I'm going to have to order a Captain Puerto Rico shield for you as well.
Are you just making that joke because everyone makes the fact that Captain America's uniform looks like the Puerto Rican flag?
No, V-Man, that's not where I'm coming up with this from.
No, because I'm just saying because everybody makes that joke that, like, you know, you look at Captain America's front, it looks just like the Puerto Rican flag.
Wait, I gotta take a look at that. Hold on.
You never noticed? You never noticed that?
Captain America. Let's take a look. Images.
Yeah, just type in Captain America Puerto Rico meme.
Oh, come on. No way.
If everyone says that, that's a running joke. You never notice that.
I don't see it.
Yeah, how do you not see it? It's like, that's an actual thing. Everyone makes that joke.
All right, now get up and run around the room real quick. We need a new intro for Gator.
No, not too.
Come on, get up. You know he's just going to use AI and do it anyway. You might as well make it authentic.
Yeah, help Gator out, man.
Yeah, the guy works hard, man. I have like 8 intros for you, man. I mean, that's not easy stuff. Get up. Yell, Weepa, and run around.
I'm not doing. This is the best you're getting. You're gonna have to add that in.
Also, the cape should be the other way around. Yeah, it should be vertical. Like the blue and the white star should be like Homelander in The Boys. The other way. Other way. No, other way. It's not a beach towel. It's a flag. It's a cape. No, spin it. There we go. Right there.
There we go.
There we go. All right, now run around.
Wait, Genergy, I don't have that. Genergy, listen to the new Bad Bunny album. Oh, did you see Bad Bunny? Genergy, did you see Bad Bunny on Hot Ones? That shit was... I knew he wasn't going to make it.
Tuck it into your hoodie, V-Man, the flag.
Why do we...
Or just tie it. Either way, fly around, man. Let's go.
Probably sure Hector is mad that this flag is this color.
Well, stick it to Hector then. I don't care. You're representing your native land. Now fly around, baby.
This is the best you're gonna get out of me. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't have the space. There's not a. I'm gonna fucking hurt myself. There's not a space.
All right. How about jump onto the bed then? Start from where your chair is. No. I got it. This is what we'll do. Start from where your chair is, right? Where you were just sitting, and then run and then jump onto the bed. So we see the Puerto Rican flag facing us.
I am not doing that.
That's how you fly, though. That's what we need for the green screen for the AI.
It's like I am not like drunk enough. Like I am too sober to do this.
It's fine. Jump on the bed. Let's go. Gator's in here. He's instructing us what he needs. Come on.
This is like, God.
Let's go, baby. Captain Puerto Rico. Jump on the bed. We're wasting Nick's valuable time here, man. This guy gets paid to cover the Jets, not deal with your nonsense.
I feel like a total dipshit for doing that.
That was great. Nick, how would you evaluate Captain Puerto Rico there?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Like, this is the only plus side of this is that I think this might move me into the top of the power ranking.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'd say so. I'm doing that.
Like, like I said, I wish I could talk about football right now, but I'm sorry, my mouth is just driving me nuts. I just came back from having 2 root canals the other day. That's why I'm off.
Look at this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Puerto Rico.
That's the end of that V-Man call. Now he can go back to sleeping.
Oh, my God. Nick, what a performance by V-Man there.
Hey, listen, I tipped the cap to him. That was fantastic. I hope to see him in the new Captain America movie. I think we can get a nice comic series out of it.
Tremendous. Great work, V-Man. Let's see. Jets Carpetbagger with a super chat here. And Carpetbagger, thank you again for your $100 super chat before. We'll get you in the raffle for 20 entries with that. Nick, stick with Calvin Klein for your wife. Pretty sure only the 4% want to see you in the Asmaniacs.
I don't think my wife wants to see me in the Asmaniacs.
I don't know, man. You look pretty good here.
Listen, I look good, but as you can see, the lighter complexion was you caught me in the wintertime. Normally when it gets summer, I'm a little darker. I think it'll be interesting to see how that looks.
Let's see. Kick out James Joe writes in, great raffle prizes. Either of those helmets would be a fantastic gift to my long-suffering JETS diehard mother who's been a fan since 1965. Joe, that's awesome. Well, if you want in, gift the membership, and I'll put you down for how many you gift. If you get to 1, you'll be in for 1. You get 5, you're in for 5, and so on and so forth. Last chance for a question for Nick, but I do want to read a great comment here from Fiore. He says, Nick's great. Intelligent, measured taste without emotion and knee-jerk reactions.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Also, I just want to make it clear because there was a question from here. I am not Italian. I am not even close to Italian. I am Hispanic, Portuguese and Spanish descent. And I actually just learned there was a little bit of North African blood in me. I did the ancestry test. So very, very excited about that as well. Not Italian, but Hispanic mostly.
Leon says Jake Asman's going to get a Webby for this or canceled or both. I thought V-Man performed well.
I thought it was perfectly fine. I think a Webby's fair. I think a Webby's certainly fair.
I'll take that. Gator did write in before. Can V-Man jump on the bed and use the flag as a bath towel? Oh, my God. What a show. What a show. Nick, I can't thank you enough, man. Always fun to get you on. I think these Friday shows all offseason are going to be insane, so get ready.
Yeah, it's all good. Very excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria, Athlon Sports. Anything coming out today that people need to read?
So, yeah, we're going to have a few more from today about the updated coaching ranks. And we've got one interesting trade rumor that's been going out that I think might be one of the dumber ones that I have seen forthcoming. So stay tuned for all that. We've got plenty of articles for you coming within the next couple of hours.
100%. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Nick Faria joining us in his weekly spot on the show. Nick, happy Friday, man. Appreciate you. We're presented today by Hugo House. You want a Hugo House hat? Go right now to the website, but click my link in the description so you'll save 20%. Also have a promo code Asman. So HugoHouse.com. If you want 20% off, use my link. Shout out to Huga House for being today's sponsor. They have 6 new hats that have been released. They now have hoodies. They have winter beanies. So check it out. HugaHouse.com. Use code Asman, or if you want even more off, go directly with my link that I have in the description. A super chat has come through here. This one is from Kyle Clifton, who says, regarding love or hate him on Beastbreaker, people don't tune into the Itchy and Scratchy show for Poochie. I've never seen that show, so this is above my pay grade. I'll tell you what, the beast is out there. All right? And we can unleash him at any time. By the way, Genergy, I know you're probably working, but if you want to call in and evaluate V-Man's performance as Captain Puerto Rico, you are by far and away the most qualified person to weigh in on the matter. So feel free. By the way, we mentioned Gator before. Everyone always asks me and asks Gator, is there a place to listen to all the incredible song parodies and different Asmaniac songs he's come up with in the history of the show? Now there is. Gator Sports on YouTube, or on Spotify and Apple, you could actually search Gator Sports Rocks and get some of the best tracks, intros, outros that Gator has put together. So if you want all of the best of Gator, that is the way to do it. And in honor of V-Man doing what he's doing, I take you back to one of the original Gator McCluskey performances on this show, inspired by the guy you just saw on the screen, Captain Puerto Rico.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Bass, and Jake. Get it started, Gator.
Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake.
Well, Super Jazz always cut the line.
And the boy-lo dances really fine.
When she's so tucking and about them jets.
My senorita, you know she gets real happy.
Real happy if that female that doesn't rhyme.
Hey, Gator, it's a family show.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake. Bass, and Jake.
If you're not subscribed to this channel after that and then Gator Sports, you're missing out, man. We got some of the best tracks ever over there. Ever. All right. Open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the show. I'm doing 3 shows today. I'm doing this one right now you're watching. I'm doing the Jake Asman football show. And I'm doing a show with Boyd Green this afternoon around 4. Matthew says, is the David T song on there? It might be. It might be. Let's see. Let me pin the call-in link. All right, it is pinned. How come none of you guys are calling in? What's up with that? No one has thoughts on the coaching staff? That's not true. By the way, for those just tuning in, AG HC shirts and hoodies available now. We're built for this bleep. And put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Matthew says the David T song is low-key banger. It's true. Honestly, what's everyone's favorite Gator creation of the intros, outros for some of our famous callers? I mean, he made so many for Bobby. I have a separate folder here that is just Bobby cuts, which is insane. We have a ton. I mean, we got some good ones. Gator says the David T song might be volume 2 of volume 1 does well. Okay. Boomtown says last day of the month, as maniacs, make your last call counts. That's right. All calls starting tomorrow count towards February. AKA selection month. Because we're putting the brackets together at the end of February to get started on March. Unreal. So I have some exciting news for everyone. Thanks to Gator and Charles Gorman collaborating, we were able to get a live look at what one of our big time raffle prizes is going to be. So you guys know the first 4. We told you about the underwear being prize 5, but we're upping it. All right. We're going to send you game worn Charles Gorman as Maniac underwear. And here's a photo of Charles being nice enough to model it for us. So get ready. We have upped the prizes again. You find a show that's giving you game-worn Gorman underwear. You find that show. Because I don't think it exists. Super chat from JV. Great new coaches, but can't work with AR. Explain. JV, I want Rodgers back. I have not subscribed to the notion that they're better off without him. So I don't think it's just about the coaches with Rodgers. I think there's the salary cap stuff. There's the commitment to learning a new system if he's on board. You know, I think that's what we're talking about. But as far as good coaches, I mean, good coaches should evaluate the alternative options and realize, hey, Aaron Rodgers probably gives us our best chance to win. Alan writes in, I'm proud to relinquish my top 10 caller status. Cool. I thought you were tired. Curly says, I'm a metal fan, so the BB theme is tops for me. What I like about the BB themes is that there's several varieties of them. Like we have the old school kind of like metal, and then you also have like the OG one that features the boxing match, which is incredible. Jet Johnny says, I was here ready to drop $50 on something epic, and this anger drops game-worn Gormani undies. I'll tell you what, Johnny, you could pay $50 for me to not send you Gormani undies because you've won a raffle before, so I might, out of spite now, send you some Gorman undies. I have your address. Indy wants to know, do they come in thongs? I'm working on that. Unreal. All right, let's do it. I know what you all are thinking. When's it gonna happen? The answer right now.
I love it. I love it. It's great. That's called comedy. Comedy first class. I love it. And I know it's kind of crappy today, but it's raining. Oh, well, that's fine. Because you know what? I'm going to keep on going. Move it up now. Come on. Come on, everybody. Get your exercise up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hussa! Hussa! Hussa!
Yeah.
Oh, these boxers I'm seeing? Okay, whose idea was that?
Hey, Beast, what do you think about me sending you some Charles Gorman game-worn underwear?
Okay. Freeze the footage. Okay, way too much information there. That's a little too much information there. I don't like going that far. That's a little too far. Take it easy, one step at a time, like everybody. It's only Friday. Do you know what Friday is?
Why are you sideways?
My phone's being on drugs right now. Don't worry about it. It's a good day. So, hey, but you know what I'm going to do later on today? I'm going to go out and have a little fun, get down and get funky, and get down like a monkey. Because you know what? Hey, when it comes to paying for fun stuff, you got to go out and get funky, But I'm not going to do that kind of funky like those other monkeys do. No way. I'm too smart for that. And I think we're going to be fine. And you know what? We're the New York Jets. We're built for this shit. Bottom line, bottom dollar, by any means necessary.
Ladies and gentlemen, Beastbreaker.
Beastbreaker. 666 $50 will send his ass to the hole where there's no gabagool.
Man, I love it. Beast, I will make sure we send you a Gorman undie later today. Don't worry. Game worn. Charles was nice enough to wear 100 of them for us. So we have 100 of an exclusive game-worn merch, the Gorman Undies. Joel writes in, the Asmaniac Paul Heyman, we need to save this man at all costs. See, Joel's a Beastbreaker fan. I'm telling you. Half the chat loves him, the other half hates him. Pretty wild. GTA, Beast never fails to entertain. Peter Castro, Beast Attic must stink. Man. Rich says, hit the like, please. Let's see. Genergy says, thanks for the laughs that I needed that. I need a nap. I'll try to call in soon as I'm better. Feel better, Genergy. I'll tell you what. Next time Genergy's on, we need her to break down, and I'll get the tape from Gator. We will review the V-Man fly as Captain Puerto Rico, the launching into the bed. Let's see how he did. My brother writes in, how do I enter for the Gorman game use underwear? Any chance we could swap that out for a jockstrap? I don't have that from Charles. Full transparency. I only have game-worn underwear. I'm not going to lie to the audience. We only have this. Jets Johnny says, F it, let me get the game-worn Gormanis. This is incredible. Well, Jets Johnny, I will put you down in the raffle for 10. You will have a chance to win the Joe Namath helmet, the Joe Klecko helmet, the Mark Gastineau helmet, the Aaron Glenn photo, and the Charles Gorman game-worn undies. Hell yeah. Let's go. Tom says Gorman needs to autograph it too. He does. Let's see. Nick says that Beastbreaker has a sturdy house. It's great to know. Adam says, how many super chats for game used Bobby Midnights? Well, I'm going to have to get up to Vermont and have Bobby try on the underwear so we can authenticate it all. But I'll tell you what, Adam. That'll be in the near future. Can you imagine how bad Bobby's underwear must smell? Yikes. The man went days without showering. He admitted it on the program. Let's continue with your calls right now. Brian is on the line. What's up, Brian?
Good morning. I seem to miss the early part of the early show, living on the West Coast.
So what part did you tune in for?
I'm 10 minutes in. So my question is about Sean Jefferson. If you covered, is he being held captive? Does he want to leave? Are we keeping him as an unwilling participant? Do we know what he wants?
Well, I don't think you would keep him if he didn't want to be with the Jets or if Aaron Glenn didn't want him. Maybe they hit it off. He's a former player. Maybe there's relationships there we're not thinking about between some of the other guys that Glenn knows. And usually there's always some holdovers. Like the Jets are about to potentially hire an offensive coordinator that was a holdover from Matt Patricia in Detroit, but survived that and worked his way up with Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson.
Yeah, and then the news I woke up to is that we offered a position to the Kaylee dude and at the Rams.
Yeah,
he wasn't into it.
You know what? I don't like the reporting from Connor there because I heard that he was interested. It's just the other jobs are better. Like then Tampa came open and Houston came open, and I would expect him to go to one of those spots.
Yeah, I was also we can all speculate that he knows from his OC what the Jets are like. I don't buy that particularly. I think we don't know if he was offered more money either. Like, hey, stay here. This is what we have planned for you. So some of the details were left out, so it leads us to speculate, and I wasn't sure what that all meant if you all covered it on the show this morning.
Yeah, no, I think we're still in a spot here where there's going to be a surprise or two hires here. I expect more experience to be added to the staff. It's my understanding.
I'm digging that. I would love to see ex-head coaches and ex-offensive and defensive coordinators joining, as well as experienced front office folks filling out the roster around Mugi or Muji. I'm not sure how he pronounces his name. I got to watch him say his name again. So I'm hoping more rally around him. I was wondering if he was going to try to pull in more former players on his staff. Campbell did that. Seemed like a interesting, unique way to fill your staff. So looking for the news blurbs every day like we all are, getting excited as he fills the roster. And then I'm wondering, does the Jets, do they have anybody down at what's going on right now? The Senior Bowl? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, they have their scouts, and Phil Savage is there as the interim GM still.
All right, good. And then I'm kind of hoping Savage stays on. Obviously, they're not talking about that at the moment, but
I like Phil Savage, but I don't think he should be like the number 2 to Muji. I want someone that is brand new. That, like, you know what I mean? Like, Savage could have a role on the team if they want to keep him around, but you know, they never replaced Rex Hogan and Chad Alexander, and I don't want them just to be like, oh, Phil's been here, he's the number 2 assistant GM now. Like, now I want some new guys being brought in. I thought that's why you hire a 39-year-old GM, third youngest in the league. He's going to have people that have innovative ideas that are going to come to the front office to modernize things.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I hope we get some more folks in here. I'm excited as they announce them. And go Jets.
Brian?
I got to rewind and watch the beginning now.
Can I interest you in some Charles Gorman underwear?
I think it's a really unique concept. I would like to see to have you fact checked on him putting 100 pairs on, because that would be his quota, I'm guessing, for the remainder of his life in underwear. So that's a lot of underwear for Charles. And I mean, the next thing we're going to have is Chiefs fan used socks with DNA on them. So, I mean, I don't know if you could, you're going to have to get, I don't know how you get the logo on those.
Brian, great call. I don't know how to get that on either. Jay Boy, I don't understand how anyone has any hope with Hackett calling any shots. Hackett is not going to be with the Jets. They haven't officially fired him yet. Maybe they're trying to give him a soft landing somewhere. See if he can get another job. But Hackett will have no major role with the Jets. If he's somehow back with the Jets and they keep Aaron, that's because he's the director of coffee or something. He'll have no say. I would just frankly just move on. I think you're starting over and move on. Let's see. David says, I have a hard time believing AG won't have these guys ready off a bye week. I mean, it's hard to be worse than the Jets have been under Saleh with, forget just bye weeks, just like extra rest. They're always bad with more time to prepare. It's a sign of a poorly coached team. Jquest writes in, oh man, imagine Jake giving away Bobby game-worn undies. That would be quite shitty. That it would. Gross. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can figure out why Beastbreaker, when he calls in lately, has been sideways. Beast, we're gonna work through it together right now. I think I have the answers.
Do know what time it is? I'm Beastbreaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
Now, Beast, your phone, I believe, is in lock mode. I think if you're on the iPhone, there's a button, if you go to the settings, that has like a lock on it. And I think that's the issue.
Come on, big fella. Come on, punk. Come on, girlfriend. Let's go, sucker. Now we're gonna be going. Now let's get down to tactics. Saw again. Saw. 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 You know what that stands for?
What's that?
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Oh, and to Mr. JDV, you know what I have here? The flag of Germany. I'm part German. That's right.
God. Oh, God. Now, Beast, let me ask you something. After going at it with Gary the other day.
Pizza Head?
Yeah, do you think there's any scenario where you guys could potentially become friends?
I don't know about that. Let's see a pizza eating contest first. Let's see.
Also, Beast,
I'll tell you what.
Here's what you have to do for your phone. You have to hit the lock button.
Oh, this will be so much fun. I got a cricket, but it's going to be so much fun. Don't worry. I'll take care of that later on today when I'm out, because I'm heading out today anyway. I'm going to go and have a little fun. Now, yeah, I feel good. I've lost 3 pounds.
Give us your best combo, Beast.
You want more? Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. Now let's see who the punk is. We're the New York Jets, and we're built for this shit.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Beast Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he's gabagoo.
Ladies and gentlemen, Beast Breaker. From Beast Breaker 666 to Butt Breaker 666. Hello, Butt Breaker.
I am so sick of this fake imposter. I'm the real Butt Breaker 666, and I can't believe he had a German flag. I did not see that coming. Let me tell you, because that is bullshit. I'm a real American, and look here, I got the props. I'm like Carrot Top. Look at this. I got that. Also, this is a full-size bat, but I'm so fucking fat that looks like a little bat. Sorry for my language there. Captain Puerto Rico, I got your biggest weakness, a roll of paper towels. I'm going to throw them at you and knock you out. If the real fake Beast Breaker wants a piece of this, he can have it.
Butt Breaker, thank you for the time. Jeez. Butt Breaker 666. Man. Ladies and gentlemen, a response from the Beast.
Beast Breaker.
Beast.
Butt Breaker. Dude, are you seriously high on cigarettes? Answer the question. Are you high on cigarettes, or did you drink too much, or have you had too much Rolade? Because, dude, you need to take it easy. It's Friday. Do you know what that means for Friday? Go out. In the words of the great, as someone once said from 61, go out, have a few belts a couple while. Come on. Roger Maris did it. Mickey Mantle did it. Serve from 61. As a matter of fact, did anybody remember that movie, 61? Do you remember that movie, Mr. Jake?
Of course. Great film.
The great Thomas Jane, Barry Pepper, and also the great Christopher McDonald, also known as Shooter McGavin.
Mm-hmm. Hey, give me a little shooter. Hey, shooter.
Hey,
You gonna see Happy Gilmore too, Beast? You excited?
At first, I'm sitting there thinking, what the hell? Why? Happy Gilmore was the greatest movie of all time, especially when Bob Barker kicked this and went, I think you had enough. No. Now you had enough, bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is Buttbreaker 666.
Oh my God, this is embarrassing.
I just wanted to say that I hope those Jake
Oh my
Gorman
God.
are just like the Jets, built for this shit, because that's what they're going to be covered in about 2 seconds in. Hey, you know what? It is Friday. If we merge our powers, no one can defeat us, and we can be called 2 tons of fun. How do you like that? How do you like that there, Beast Breaker? Who you pointing to? A real winner. Hey.
In the words of The Rock, The Rock would once say, who in the blue hell are you?
Beast, what's your real name?
No.
What's your real name, Beast? What's your real name? It doesn't matter what your name is. See, I can do the same shit you can do, but better, okay?
Well, since Ross baby left him, he found a place to dwell. Well, down at the Jabroni Drive at Smackdown Hotel.
No, you'd never have a girlfriend because she was like a hound dog. She would never come to you because she has a good sense of smell. Okay, get the fuck out of here.
At least I got her in college. At least I know so well. I went down so far. I got played by a queen. At least I got some help from a queen. At least I get some baby. At least I get some baby.
Gomer Pyle from Full Metal Jacket right now.
You know what time it is? I'm Beast Breaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
It's one of those shows, man. Absolute insanity. Thanks to the 531 of you watching live right now. Click that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Join the Patreon if you want your name added to the intro, because today's the last day to do it. If you want in for February. Unbelievable. Has Beast met his match in Buttbreaker? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Unreal. Thunder Lips, $20 super chat, 5 entries in the raffle. I got you, Thunder Lips. I hope you win. Appreciate you supporting the show. I see my dad's in the chat. My dad's favorite Asmaniac is Gorman. He thinks Gorman is the ultimate 1 seed. Dad, don't worry. I secured you authenticated, game-worn Gorman Jake Asman show undies. So don't worry. Unbelievable. King Lowski says, you think this is a Jet channel, but it's so much more. It's a lifestyle channel, baby. The lives of the Asmaniacs intertwined. We just met another one. Buttbreaker. Incredible. All right, last chance to get in here. I got the closer on the line if need be. Thanks to everyone who donated to the closer yesterday. The man will have $100 for his birthday this weekend. Dave Brigger says, these guys leave a lot to be desired. Dave? I think they make some salient points. $25 says, Jake's show is the TLC of Jets content. Matthew says, ultimately, this show's about the people. My Holy says, Beastbreaker, don't bend over in front of Buttbreaker. Agreed. Dana says, if they would have fused, the show would have never been the same. Chef Kevin says, these servers are looking at me in the kitchen like, Chef, WTF are you watching? Matthias, WTF is happening. Nobody seems to know. Last chance for super chats and raffle entries here. First show of the day. Terrence says, this is terrible. Well, what can you do? You can't win everyone over. Indy says it's still a lifestyle here in Jake's show. That's right. The Asmaniacs aren't for everyone. But if you're a part of this joyride, you're a part of it for life. Unless you pretend like you're going to retire from the show over a caller and you don't actually do it. Like many of you out there have said you would, but you won't. Because we're all part of a family here. Very dysfunctional one at that, but one big family. Anyway, I think it's time, folks. I think it's time to bring in the closer. Joe Torre is coming out of the pen. And Enter Sandman is playing.
It's G-Span.
Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches.
It's G-Span.
I'm just going to rub my hands together all day.
It's G-Span.
There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch.
Let's hear it for G-Span.
Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
Happy almost birthday, Chiefs fan.
Thank you. Thanks you all that donated. I put 50 in my account, and I'm going to use that other 50 for the drinks. When that friend's covering all my drinks, even if it's more than 50, he's going to be covering all my drinks for Super Bowl, like all the booze, or non-soda stuff. If this one's 50 for it, he's going to get me $75 worth of stuff.
Hell yeah.
Food and drinks. So yeah. That 50, I plan on just buying a small carrot cake. I'll get I'm gonna go out to the Mexican restaurant over to Applebee's if they still have the buffet going on. If not, I'm just gonna run in to Subway and get my classic. I get the Philly cheesesteak.
Okay.
With extra spicy banana peppers. I know that doesn't go on a Philly cheesesteak, but like, come on now, banana peppers are so good. And the best part about
guy?
I'm only a banana pepper guy on heavy pizzas with a lot of meat and Subway sandwiches.
I see.
I tried banana peppers and beef stew once, and I just like, okay, this isn't going well. But I'm happy. I'm thankful for everyone who donated.
Thunder Lips goes, can I Uber Eats this man a real meal for his birthday?
You can if you want. Like I'm just you can if you want. Like the only places for Uber Eats in town are Applebee's and McDonald's. That's the only two places that
Those are the only two places in your town that do Uber Eats. There's no way.
Yeah.
What about Grubhub?
I could check. Like there's not that many places. There's not that many diners and places here. There's just a bunch of fast food places here. There's only diners here are Applebee's and Denny's, and then you got the Boomer restaurants that serve the old people on the weekend, and you got the pizza joints, which I tried most of the pizza down here. Let me just be honest. They tried to make a New York cheese pizza. They can't do it. Nothing beats a real New York cheese pizza.
I see.
Even the frozen New York cheese pizzas that they carried for a while at my Schnucks until they kept on selling out and couldn't get it anymore didn't taste like the real thing that I remembered going to a Yankees game back in 2009. So yeah, I lucked out and won some tickets, and me and my friend traveled. We spent way too much money that weekend, but like we were both 18 and we were both dumb for our money.
Do they still call you Moneybags Chiefs fan in your friend group?
No. I wish I had that type of money. I wish I listened to my friend years and years and years ago when he said buy one Bitcoin and hold on to it. Like now he paid off half a house with his Bitcoin money recently.
I see.
But like he decided to hold on and invest. Like he quit his job recently and did day trading all through COVID.
Really?
And then that's how he got the house mostly too.
That's how he got the house?
He's also in Canada, so you pay more on that. So houses cost more.
I see.
I know he's on the last Providence that's right next to Alaska. The one where it's like, I believe he's in a wilderness area too. So like, I always tell him if there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm going up there because the zombies will freeze to death in your area. Where like their blood, like the reference of like they need to be warm blooded. Like if there's ever a zombie apocalypse, go to up north. Yes, it's gonna freeze your balls off, but at least you're not gonna get bit. As a person who's happy that 28 years later is coming out after the days later zombie apocalypse movie I watched, kid, I'm happy for that coming out. Happy Gilmore too. I'm indifferent.
Now, how do you feel about Charles Gorman underwear, Chiefs fan? If I sent you a pair, would you wear it?
I'm gonna be real. I'm a Reebok and Reebok guy only, but maybe.
It's game worn.
Oh boy, I'll have to bleach it. I've been wearing Reebok boxers since I was 13. And my parents used to hate that, and my family used to hate buying me Reeboks. But I'm like, Reeboks. I used to wear Reebok shoes, but now that I'm like not paying that much for shoes because I buy a $50 pair of shoes with memory foam, and then I go out and buy the $25 arch support since my arch support has been screwed since I was a teenager. But I'm very happy for all those who donated. I'm going to definitely have some Chinese food tonight, and then on Friday, next Friday, I'm gonna get everything with that $50 that you guys gave me. I'm just gonna have Walmart send me a bunch of stuff, and like I'm not the type of guy that like eats out anymore unless if it's a Chinese restaurant or the Applebee's in town, like or McDonald's. I rarely eat McDonald's too because McDonald's screws me up. But like as a football thing, I'm hoping we three-peat, and I'm hoping your Jets win a ring in your lifetime. Hopefully they win one in Peter's lifetime and all the older Jet fans' lifetimes too.
I see.
Like Rob from Glen Head and Neil and all of them. I would love to see them. Like even if it's like 10 years from now, you guys are hosting a Lombardi.
Jet Life with a super chat that gets some 5 raffle entries. Chiefs fan, happy B-Day.
Thank you, Jet Life.
Where's Bobby Midnight to sing to you, by the way? Hopefully that happens
right?
later today or tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be on the Sunday show if you do a Sunday show. If not, I'll be on a Monday show later in the afternoon if you want to make it up for me.
Your birthday is when? It's Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, but like Sunday, Sunday I most likely might sleep in because Saturday I'm gonna stay out late, and Friday tonight I'm staying out late. Saturday I'm gonna stay out late, helping my friend Pack. The friend who let himself go was finally going to a weight loss program after being convinced by family. So that night, I'm gonna help him pack. He's let himself go to the point where he was able to walk. Now he's in a wheelchair, and I'm like, come on, man, you gotta get back to walking. I'm like,
Kutch wants to know, just curious how a Chiefs fan made it to a Jets channel. Can you tell your origin story again for those who are new?
I seen Tom Grossi saying that all Jets fans should be happy if they get him for 2 first rounders or 2 second rounders. And then I looked up Aaron Rodgers trade, and then I looked up Jets media, and then I clicked live, and you were live, and I started watching the show. And more logic came true that the Packers fans are just delusional. They wanted 2 first rounders. They wanted some Packers fans even wanted. I don't know if you had Brees back then or whatever running back you had back then. Yeah, you did have Brees back then. My bad. One of the Packers fans. I want Brees in a first rounder. I'm like, whatever cocaine you're on, share. Because that's not happening for Aaron Rodgers.
R&R says no other YouTuber lets these people talk. That's why they come here. I guess you're not familiar with the Nick Shine show or the Boy Green show.
Yep, those 2
Richie's
people. channel.
I mean, there's plenty of YouTubers that take calls. Tyson and Kevin take calls on Let's Talk Jets.
None of the Chiefs people take calls, but I understand why people would call in and say the N-word and troll and get them banned. But like, I found the show that way. I called in one day. I even said in the past that the Jets should have beat us. Like the refs with that bullshit call. Sorry for the language.
We got reffed up that night.
Yeah. You guys were about to upset us. And the refs are like, oh no, we got to protect them. I'm like, come on, man. But the only way I respect the refs is if they help us get a three-peat. Other than that, I'm like, but you didn't have to do that against the Jets. And that was Zach Wilson playing. He was playing out of his mind that day. The guy who barely threw over 9 touchdowns, if I'm correct for stats, and always threw 9 or 11 interceptions. So, yeah. And then I took a break from watching the show. Took a break from watching the show and that because I didn't want to piss anyone off. So I came back a few weeks later. But I'm like, yeah, I've been here for a while. I was here on draft night. I was happy for the O-lineman. I know all you Bowers boys might literally go to Woody and choke him like Homer chokes Bart if he drafts a tight end. But that lineman was pretty good for you this year. And he's learning from some of the greats. And you got the new lineman coach. So
hey, Chiefs
I'm hoping
fan,
that will.
Final question for you here on the eve of, how old are you? Your 35th birthday?
34.
34th birthday.
Yeah.
What does it take to be great?
What does it take to be great? Just always believing in yourself. Like I have 2 Deadpool shirts, that Deadpool hoodie and a Deadpool shirt that has a heart like this. Believe in yourself. I'm like, I'm a big Deadpool fan, so like even if Deadpool says believe in yourself, I'm like, there like this one comic where Deadpool fights Mr. Nightmare and for $7 for a kid. And if you can believe in yourself, you can do anything. I'm like, I was 350 pounds at one point. Now I'm back to 225. I thought I was gonna be over 400 within a year. If you need like take it slow for weight loss, but like or fast, whatever. But like I don't fully never stop believing in myself. Yes, there's times where I don't want to wake up in the morning and I'm depressed. But I hear my alarm go off and I hear Final Countdown go off about 20 times some days when I don't want to get up. I have it blaring, but at 10th time, I'm like, I'm in the mood to get up. And like believing in yourself, like it might be hard, you might be mad, you might be suicidal, but there's always something to live for. Like I said in the past, you might meet your best friend the next day, you might meet your significant other, you might meet someone that you do the Philip Rivers with and have 9 kids with. So you always believe in yourself. There's always something to look forward to the next day. Even if life is dealing you a shitty situation. There's people who have been poor who are now millionaires. There's people who had a dime to their name and now have a family. There's people who, like The Rock, only had like $18 to their name. Vince McMahon put him on a pedestal, and look at him now. There's also people like who.
It's Chiefs fan.
Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches.
It's Chiefs fan.
I'm just going to rub my hands together all day.
It's Chiefs fan.
There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch.
Let's hear it for Chiefs fan.
Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
We'd be here all day if I didn't do that. Chiefs fan, happy almost birthday, man. June says, Jake, heard you on the radio last night on the drive home from work. Fantastic job. Thank you, June. I have radio this weekend. Sunday, I'm doing 4 hours of national radio on Sirius XM Channel 82. Mad Dog Sports Radio, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Just got that figured out here. Also, I am hosting on Valentine's Day on ESPN New York now, 7 to 9 p.m. So, Valentine's Day, while you're making, to quote Boy Green, sweet and passionate love, put me on the radio in the background. There's nothing better than that. 7 to 9, ESPN New York on Valentine's Day evening. Love that. Big Fella says, I listened to you last night. Yeah, Ian Fitzsimmons, who I did the show with, is a good dude, man. Huge football fan, college football guy. Thanks for listening, Big Fella. Appreciate that. Matthew says, no congrats on the sex, I guess. Well, not for me between 7 to 9 on Valentine's Day. That's for sure. I will be working. Larry, you're going to miss the Pro Bowl. It will be on while I'm talking. 25, I appreciate the gesture, but I will not be reading that comment. Thank you very much. Anyway, that's going to do it. I'm back in an hour for the football show with Cole. Then I'm back around 4 for the Boy Green show. Him and I together on Fridays, as usual. All right, couple clips before we get out of here. But first, reminder, today's the last day to join the Patreon. If you want your name in the intro, if you want a bonus show, Discord access, if you want any merch, right? We've sold a lot of merch this month, not even just the AG stuff, but merch in general. 20% off if you join the Patreon. So you're getting the first month for free. You're going to save more than $5 with any item you buy in the merch store. Put your seatbelts on. We're built for this. Hoodies, shirts, jakeasman.com. Check it out if you haven't. Great way to support the show and get yourself some fresh merch. On that note, like the video, subscribe, check out Gator Sports, the soundtrack. There's a thanks button for everyone not watching live. If you still want to enter the raffle, that's how you could do it after the show is over. All right, that's enough PSAs. Let's end with some greatness. I'll talk to you guys soon. Go Jets. More of your calls right now. No way. I can't believe this. But one of your arch nemesises has just called in to challenge you. Buckle up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Asmaniac Rumble.
What do we have here? Look at this guy. This
Before
guy.
we talk about Gabagoo. Oh, let me get some words in. Look, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers quarterback, Josh Allen quarterback, Patrick Mahomes quarterback. We bring back Tom Brady. You try to tell me that those 4 quarterbacks aren't going to make a difference?
Timeout.
Look,
Tom Brady is happily retired.
he's still got something. You don't know what you're talking about.
thing.
Hey, you don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, relax. Before you blow up with blood pressure. I'm not going to tell you again.
Hey.
Relax.
Oh.
I'm not going to tell you again.
You're making me upset. I'm getting upset.
Yeah, getting upset what?
Yeah,
What are you getting upset at?
No.
Get out of here then. Go. 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 If you're going to act like a crybaby, go.
Oh, I'm getting upset. I can't feel this way. I need a new diaper. Ma! Meatloaf and a diaper change. Ma!
Jake, this is embarrassing to the public. I'm not going to listen to this crap.
What?
You're making a damn fool of yourself.
Mahomes on the Jets, along with Tom Brady and Josh Allen on the Jets. It's going to make a difference. A winning combination.
First of all, you're making an ass out of yourself, and you're not acting like a normal human being. Please act normal.
That you don't use to clean the funnel butt. Funnel butt.
If you're gonna act this way towards me, I'm not gonna act like I'm not gonna hear this BS.
Funnel butt.
Stop. Get out of here. I don't want to hear him.
Oh.
Do you understand me? Take a walk. I said take a walk.
Where am I going?
You know where you're going. To the back of the line. Now get your ass out of here and act like a civilian and do your part like everybody else.
Jake, he told me to get to the back of the line, Jake. I don't like when people tell me to get to the back of the line.
Get used to it, son. I'm not going to accept you.
I will go to the back
Get
of the
in the line.
You.
Good.
All right.
Give me a real person to talk to. I'd like to speak to Bobby, but he's a little sick right now. That last guy you heard on there, that guy. Jesus Christ, Jake.